Do you notice any similarities between this presentation and this presentation? What I see is two freaking geniuses revealing revolutionary products dressed in black. Like Elon, Steve Jobs was a visionary. And to be a visionary, you have to do things a different way. You have to upset a lot of people, especially Wall Street. In 2007, the BlackBerry was the #1 messaging device of its time. It was easy to type and people could get their work done. The data was showing that it was faster to type on a hardboard keyboard, so it was a no-brainer that the iPhone should have a hardboard keyboard. But Steve Jobs said to his team, "Look, I've got a gut feeling on this one. I know it's not going to work as well, but I think we need to go with a virtual keyboard instead of a hardboard." The engineers didn't understand because they were looking at the data. But Jobs said, no, you have to look at this from a different point of view. BlackBerries are productivity devices, and the iPhone is going to be something different. This is about entertainment. Ultimately, Steve Jobs' employees and engineers had no say. It was Jobs' choice, but Jobs was right. BlackBerry got buried. Data tells you one thing, but at the end of the day, data represents the past. Opinions is where the genius is because the future may be different from the past. Elon Musk's virtual keyboard moment is about to happen. This past summer, he sat down with his top 5 lieutenants in Austin to discuss Tesla's coming robotaxi. The agenda for the day was a basic robotaxi that could be produced in high volumes. Musk and his team would argue for about a year whether this robotaxi should have steering wheels and pedals or not. Musk argued that they do not need it. Several Tesla engineers have been pushing for a more conservative approach. Tesla chief designer Franz von Holzhausen, during a meeting on August 18, 2022, even suggested that the robotaxi could have pedals and a steering wheel that could be removed later. He said if we go down a path with having no steering wheel but FSD is not ready, we won't be able to put them on the road. Musk, however, was reportedly adamant. No mirrors, no pedals, no steering wheel. This is my decision and I'm going to stick to it. Musk went further to highlight their focus on autonomy, saying, "Let me be clear, the vehicle must be designed as a clean robotaxi. We're going to take that risk. It's my fault if it fucks up. But we are not going to design some kind of amphibian frog that's a halfway car. We are all in on autonomy," he said. Sound like Steve Jobs? There's absolutely no data in the world that shows how a car with no steering wheel will sell. This is a gut move from Musk. It's the kind of decision in business that grants the title of visionary. For society to progress, somebody has to make these kinds of moves. Things that push the envelope and think outside of the box. Musk would later relent, however, following a meeting in September 2022. During the meeting, von Holzhausen and several other executives presented data to Musk showing that they would need a global car to hit their ambitious growth targets. What convinced Musk in the end, though, was that they showed the $25,000 global car next to the robotaxi, and they told Musk that they've made it, they've designed it, so that they can both be made on the same assembly line. This is what convinced Musk. Do you see that? Musk is obsessed with the future. He thinks so far ahead, and that's why institutional ownership is so low. It is in fact the lowest of all megacaps, and that is because Elon rarely makes the data-based decisions that Wall Street loves. Wall Street would be up in arms if Holzhausen did not convince Musk to make the $25,000 car. But that's because they don't always see the vision. There is no data to rely on with these innovations, and the unknown terrifies Wall Street because they have quarterly numbers to hit. They have their clients to impress right now. The propensity for Musk to literally reinvent the wheel is why so many retail investors are all in on Tesla. We don't have to present data to clients. We know Musk, we see his vision, and we have the freedom to invest in it. I've never seen a company that's grown to be so big and maintained its culture that it had from the beginning. When you have a gunslinger CEO like Musk, the sky's the limit for opportunity. Like Jobs, he has a vision for the future that is not like anything from the past. With a guy like this, of course the risk is high, but I'm thankful Elon has his executives, his lieutenants like Holzhausen to keep him balanced, to be his rock. Peter Thiel of PayPal, former partners with Musk, said this of him: "Elon wants risk for his own sake. He seems to enjoy it, and indeed at times he is addicted to it. And Steve Jobs had his guys too. On the first iPhone, Steve Jobs did not want there to be a SIM card slot. He told his guy, "I don't want any more holes in the phone." He wanted to use CDMA technology to connect to cell towers instead of using GSM. But all of his guys said, "No, Steve, that doesn't work," and they presented him with the data, just like Elon's lieutenants did for him. And Steve Jobs changed his mind. He had his lieutenants to balance him out. Elon has shown this ability to be level-headed quite often, actually. For a long time, Tesla had refused to advertise their products, but at Investor Day 2023, Meet Kevin got up and asked a question, and he presented data to Elon about Netflix and how their advertising worked and why Tesla should do the same thing. And literally on stage, Musk said, "Okay, we'll try a little advertising," because he listened to the data that Meet Kevin presented, and he responded. He changed his opinion because of data. Sometimes you want your visionaries to keep their opinions, and sometimes they're too far-fetched and you want them to balance out. After agreeing to advertise, the crowd cheers because, well, this is Investor Day, and Tesla advertising means no more price cuts, and margins go up and investors make more money. But you can see Musk's reaction. He's like, okay. He doesn't really understand why the crowd is roaring so much about a little advertising, because to Musk, he is obsessed with self-driving. To him, Tesla stock is worth zero if they do not solve that. It's the most important thing Tesla has to keep their advantage above other competitors and to grow to be worth more than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. If you can take the steering wheel out of the car and it can drive itself, the price of the car doesn't really matter anymore. This is because once Tesla cars are level 5 autonomy and they don't need a driver to go out and pick people up and give them really cheap rides, then Tesla doesn't even have to sell their cars. They can just send them out as taxis in Tesla's own fleet. So all this other stuff, price cuts, which Tesla said they were going to do from the beginning. They've been trying to show the world that electric vehicles are cheaper than ICE vehicles and that they're more fun. So why is everybody surprised? So it's like all this other stuff is superfluous. Let's get self-driving done. That's what Elon wants to talk about. That's why he starts every conference call, every earnings call talking about it. And Wall Street hates it. But Adam Jonas had a great report this morning on Dojo, so maybe there's hope. But when this robotaxi does happen, when there is no steering wheel, this will be Elon's iPhone moment. Wait, he already made rockets that can land themselves, and he made electric vehicles profitable when nobody else could do it. But this will be another Elon Musk moment. But was removing the hardboard and adding a virtual keyboard what made Apple a $3 trillion company? No. I would argue that it's the entire ecosystem that stemmed from the Apple. That Apple Watch, those AirPods, that MacBook, that iPad, that Apple Music. You know how you kind of always have an Apple product around, and you know how they kind of all complement each other? I mean, I'll be working on my MacBook and get up to go to the bathroom, but I obviously can't go to the toilet without my iPhone, so I bring my iPhone. It's just a never-ending loop of Apple. I mean, we're cyborgs now, and they've become essential to society. I mean, I hate going anywhere without them because it's like, oh, I need to scan that barcode to check into my flight. Oh, I need to scan that barcode to look at the food menu. And oh, I need my phone for listening to music, and I need my alarm in the morning, and I need to take pictures. It's just like, I need my phone. And that is how Apple turned into a $3 trillion company. But did you know that Tesla is doing the exact same thing? It starts with the purchase of a car, which have gotten a lot cheaper, by the way. From there, people fall in love with the product. I mean, I'm sure you've heard it's the best thing ever. I mean, look at this chart that compares range with cost. There is absolutely nothing equivalent to what you get for your money in a Tesla. The entire experience is just the best. And because of their lead, as you can see, they are selling millions of Tesla cars, and this is putting strain on the electricity grid. In response, Tesla has created energy generation and storage solutions to take pressure off of the electricity grid. Homeowners can now install solar on their homes, generate energy, and store them in power walls. This allows them to not only power their house, but also charge their car, all for free. Of course, once you pay for the hardware. Dude, crazy stuff happens. I mean, when storms hit Texas, for example, and the entire electricity grid goes down, people can continue to power their homes with their stored energy. But not only that, But homeowners with power walls are actually making money by selling electricity or selling this energy that they've stored back into the grid. It's a virtual power plant. And people are making money off of their power walls because when people need energy badly, they have it and other people don't. But you can see the ecosystem starting to develop with Tesla. You have superchargers, you have Tesla insurance, you have energy generation and storage. It all creates not only a cleaner planet, but a lower cost of living for families. The difference between these two ecosystems, well, they're similar because they're both essential, essentially. But they're different because one is 10 times more expensive. Probably more than that because, well, a new Tesla car is about 30 times as much as a new iPhone. And not only that, but Tesla has industry-leading margins. They might have come down with all of these price cuts lately, but what happens when interest rates go back down to zero? Well, Tesla prices go back up. They always are innovating. They're always vertically integrating. They're always taking things in-house, which drives costs down. They're scaling up, which drive costs down. Margins go higher. Tesla is Apple-like with their hardware. They've shown that. They've produced 30% auto gross margins last year. That's going to happen again. And I'm telling you right now, this is Apple's ecosystem, but it's 10 times as big and it's still essential. So every homeowner is going to do it. And if you're saying, well, I can't afford a home, well, pretty soon you're going to be using dedicated robo-taxis with no driver for half the cost of Uber. So you still get your little taste of Tesla. You still get that little screw. And oh, I forgot. I have not even mentioned the Tesla robot yet that is literally going to penetrate the labor market and do jobs like warehouse, like transport, like factory for cheaper than all those union workers that are on strike right now trying to get 35% pay raises. Gee, I forgot about that. You know, when I bring up Tesla Bot, and not to be smug, but it makes Apple feel like a little lemonade stand to me. One company is entertaining a lot of people, and I will say they are entertaining them quite a lot. But the other company is filling the need for energy, filling the need for transport, and filling the need for labor within a global economy. So it's really about David and Goliath in this situation. And these things are going to happen faster than you expect. Tesla's two biggest software projects, Optimus and FSD, they are both already past their innovation phase now that FSD V12 has come out. These things are ran end-to-end AI neural nets only on video-based training. The only thing to happen now is scale, which Tesla is buying a ton of compute, and now it is only a matter of time before they hit 100 exaflops, and these things run like freaking buttermills, whatever that is. I mean, one way to think about it is like humans sleepwalk, right? They sleepwalk, they get in their car and they drive to the convenience store all while they're asleep. If a human can drive while they're asleep, why can't a neural net that's being trained with billions of frames of video data per day, why can that, an artificial neural network, not drive to the store? I mean, look at the video I'm playing on screen. It is already doing things much more difficult. What an exciting time to be a Tesla investor. Anyways, Walter Isaacson's book comes out tomorrow. It's going to be on my doorstep first thing in the morning. It's 668 pages, and if you guys want to get a copy for yourself, a link will be in the description. Walter Isaacson's done Da Vinci, he's done Steve Jobs, he's done Benjamin Franklin. This guy only follows around some of the most prolific innovators of our time, and he's just followed Elon around for the last couple of years. This book is going to be so chock full of the best stories I've ever seen in my life. You'll see a lot of those stories on this channel, so hit the subscribe button if you want to see my reaction to Walter Isaacson's book on Elon Musk. Thank you.